Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam namaskrityan naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam udirayat nashtaprayeshu bhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtike. Om Ajnanaatimirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam yena bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadasi Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sabhadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Rama 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 Hare Hare. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Visabhutari Kauvadagitiya Shri Girirajaya Swamine Subhakta Radha Das Biharigan Bhaktides Chakmadayini. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Visabhutari Shmate Bhakti Vedanta Swamine Tinamine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatra Desha Tarini. Mokham Karoti Vachalam Panghum Nangayate Girim Yat Kripa Tamaham Vande Shri Guru Dinataranam. Hare Krishna. This is not working properly. I'll have to change. Just hope I can do it. Alright. So we're starting chapter 5. So Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 5. So this is the Lord Rishabhdeva's teachings to his sons. So remember, we read text 19, last chapter. Once while touring the world, Lord Rishabhdeva, the Supreme Lord, reached a place known as Brahmavarta. Brahmavarta. Oh, okay. So Brahmavarta, Prabhupada says, Brahmavarta identified by some as Burma and by others as a place near Kanpur, Uttar Pradesh. Brahmavarta is either Burma. See, actually the whole world was one, right? So say maybe it's Burma or a place near Kanpur, Uttar Pradesh. There's so much history in Bhagavatam, like Mahabharata, it's all.
In English, that it is in Kanpur.
Yeah.
In Hindi,
It's not there? You mean word to word translation?
Word to word, yes.
Yeah.
Brahma means
Yeah.
Burma, yes, Kanpur. Yes.
So he reached a place known as Brahmavarta. There was a great conference of learned Brahmanas at that place, and all the king's sons attentively heard the instructions of the Brahmanas there. At that assembly, within the hearing of the citizens, Rishabdev instructed his sons, although they were already very well behaved, devoted and qualified. He instructed them so that in the future they could rule the world very perfectly. Thus he spoke as follows. So this is chapter 5 now. So in this chapter there is a description of Bhagavad Dharma, religious principles in devotional service that transcend religious principles for liberation and the mitigation of material misery. So meaning this here, the instruction given is beyond Varnashram Dharma. In Varnashram Dharma, we have read again and again, this is simply making best use of a bad bargain, right? Meaning that we want to enjoy this world, so okay, we are allowed to enjoy with certain rules and regulations, and then gradually we may take to devotional life. But here, Prabhupada is saying in this chapter, there is a description of Bhagavad Dharma, which is not Varnashram Dharma. By now this is clear to all of us. It is stated in this chapter that a human being should not work hard like dogs and hogs for sense gratification. That's what everybody is doing, okay? Even in Varnashram Dharma, they're working like hogs and dogs. Actually, when we are not very convinced about Krishna, that's when we have to work hard, right? So if somebody is not convinced about Bhagavad Dharma, then better they work than be lazy and do nothing, right? The human life is specially meant for the revival of our relationship with the Supreme Lord. And to this end, all kinds of austerities and penances should be accepted. By austere activity, one's heart can be cleansed of material contamination, kam, krodh, lobha, moha, matsarya. Austere activity meaning like fasting, right? Going on pilgrimage. So these are just restraining the senses, brahmacharya. So one's heart can be cleansed of material contamination, and as a result one can be situated on the spiritual platform. So remember, the more we restrain the senses, the less the demand of the senses will be. It's like if there is fire and you put ghee or petrol, it will go on blazing. But if you don't put gradually, it will just die down. So the senses are not like this. If somebody is habituated just eating, whenever that tongue will see food, it will feel the impulse. But if we control, like we have heard Prabhupada told us, eat at fixed time, not whole day. You know, before I joined Krishna consciousness, whole day will be eating. But when we came to Krishna consciousness, it was so strict. There's just nothing. What will you eat? There's just nothing. Your breakfast, you have to wait for the next meal. There's nothing. So it's like 2-3 meals, that's sufficient. Not always, whole snacks lying around for you to just pop in. Then you spoil your digestion actually. So this regulation, austerity, it's actually after some time, it just calms down. The human life is specially meant for the revival of our relationship with the Supreme Lord. And to this end, all kinds of austerities and penances should be accepted. By austere activities, one's heart can be cleansed of material contamination, and as a result, one can be situated on a spiritual platform. Meaning, decrease the demand of the body so that the soul can flourish. You have time, and you save time. Prabhupada said somewhere, right? If you have to fast on Ekadashi, you're saving so many tons of grains, and you're saving your time also. You don't have to cook. But Hare Krishna people, they go in the kitchen and make feast on Ekadashi. Right? Best. just have some milk, some fruits, and some sabudana, something, keep some nuts. Finish 1 hour in the kitchen for the whole family. You're done. You can chant 25 rounds, 32 rounds, 64 rounds. Not inventing. I remember we went to Ujjain and Maharaj was I was giving series of class, I think maybe Uddhav Geet or something, I can't remember. So he mentioned this. He said that the ladies have invented so many new creation for Ekadashi. Ekadashi pizza, Ekadashi this, Ekadashi that, right? He says, just be a little more relaxed with your creativity. Be simple. Right? A fruit salad, it's okay. Banana. Make some date balls, right? With nuts, right? It's filling. You won't feel weak. Where are we? Okay, to attain this perfection, one has to take shelter of a devotee and serve him. So meaning we can't do it by ourselves. As I'm saying, how will I ever have thought that, you don't eat the whole day. Just that you enter the ashram and that's it, there's nothing. It's just nothing. You have to wait for the next meal, right? And the kitchen is closed. You can't enter the kitchen and cook something for yourself, right? But what happened is that from that training, then later on, it just became a habit. Right? It just became a habit. You eat at a certain time. You don't eat 10 o'clock in the night or 9 o'clock in the night. You're satisfied with little milk, right? Between 6 and 7 later, last meal. Yes, so what I'm saying is that because the ashram was organized by Srila Prabhupada. Alright? So therefore here Prabhupada is saying, to attain this perfection one has to take shelter of a devotee and serve him. Right? By ourselves we could never do. We could even think of something like that. And we can organize that way by the Acharya. Then the door of liberation will be open. Then the door to liberation will be open. Those who are materially attached to women and sense gratification gradually become entangled in material consciousness and suffer the miseries of birth, old age, disease and death. Those who are engaged in the general welfare of all and who are not attached to children and family are called Mahatmas. Those who are engaged in sense gratification, who are piously or impiously, those who are engaged in sense gratification, who act piously or impiously, cannot understand the purpose of the soul. Therefore, they should approach a highly elevated devotee and accept him as a spiritual master. How do we act piously or impiously? Okay, somebody comes to our home, we give some donation. They ask for some charity, we give them some donation. And some impiously, we unnecessarily punish a servant, right? Or somebody else. Oh my God, I'm reading Mahabharata. It's horrible actually. I just read this story of how Bhima, he got caught in a snake that completely took away, the huge Bhima who was killing Rakshasas one after the other. Right? You read that story. His whole life went out. He lost his energy. One huge snake got him. So then Bhima asked, who are you? Who are you that you had that capacity to remove all my strength? So he says, I'm Nahusha.
Tell
Tell us who is he? King. Yeah, King Nahus. See, you immediately said King Nahus. He has become a snake.
Snake. अजगर हो गया.
Huh?
हाँ, अजगर. Snake.
Ajgar.
Snake से भी बड़ा होता है. Python.
Yeah. How he became a snake. So then, anyway, Yudhishthir was looking, where's Bhima? He's gone. So when he went, he saw Bhima in the coils of that snake. So he asked, who are you? He is King Nahus. Yudhishthir thought, this is my ancestor. I'm just saying, acting piously and impiously. This King Nahush was in the line of Kuru, Pandav Kuru dynasty. Very great king, very generous. So generous that he went up to Swargalok. You know what he did? He became a snake. You won't believe what he did. I mean, that's why I say it's so dangerous. He became very proud, so he's roaming around in his airplane, and Agastya Muni was sitting doing meditation or something, sitting there. He spat on him. So acting piously, such a king, he did everything. He went to Swargalok. In that dynasty, the Pandavas are taking birth. It's horrible. So that's why here King Rishabdev is teaching, too dangerous to stay in this world. You don't know what you'll do next. Right? You're so pious, but you don't know what may come out from your lotus mouth. Right?
What is lotus mouth?
Just say. Impiously. So from Swargalok, alright? From Swargalok, just understand, he's a king who's like a Raja Rishi. You take Dhritarashtra also. He was Raja Rishi, and see what he did. So very dangerous. Therefore, they should approach a highly elevated devotee and accept him as a spiritual master. By his association, one will be able to understand the purpose of life. Under the instructions of such a spiritual master, one can attain devotional service to the Lord, detachment from material things, and tolerance of material misery and distress. Anyway, we are going to study this in length. This is just a summary here. One can then see all living entities equally, and one becomes very eager to know about transcendental subject matters, endeavoring persistently for the satisfaction of Krishna. One becomes detached from wife, family, children, and home. He is not interested in wasting time. In this way, one becomes self-realized. A person advanced in spiritual knowledge does not engage anyone in material activity, and one who cannot deliver another person by instructing him in devotional service should not become a spiritual master, father, mother, demigod, or husband. Instructing his 100 sons, Lord Rishabdev advised them to accept their eldest brother Bharat as their guide and lord, and thereby serve him. Of all the living entities, the Brahmanas, of all living entities, the Brahmanas are the best. And above the Brahmanas, the Vaishnavas are situated in an even better position. Serving a Vaishnava means serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thus, Shukadeva Goswami describes the characteristics of Bharat Maharaj and the sacrificial performance executed by Lord Rishabdev for the instruction of the general populace. Text 1. Rishabha uvacha Nayam deha deha bhajam hriloke कष्टान् कामम् अर्हते विद्भुजन्ये तपोदीव्यं पुत्रकायेन सत्वं शुद्ध्येत् यस्मात् ब्रह्मशोक्यं त्वनन्तं. This is very famous verse, extremely famous. All right, Shikala, you can read.
हरे कृष्ण. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. Lord Rishabdev told his sons, "My dear boys, of all the living entities who have accepted material bodies in this world, one who has been awarded this human form should not work hard day and night simply for sense gratification, which is available even for dogs and hogs that eat stool. One should engage in penance and austerity to attain the divine position of devotional service. By such activity, one's heart is purified, and when one attains this position, he attains eternal, blissful life, which is transcendental to material happiness and which continues forever." Purport. In this verse, Lord Rishabdev tells his sons about the importance of human life. The word Deha Bhag refers to anyone who accepts a material body. But the living entity who is awarded the human form must act differently from animals. Animals like dogs and hogs enjoy sense gratification by eating stool. After undergoing severe hardships of all day, human beings are trying to enjoy themselves at night by eating, drinking, having sex, and sleeping. At the same time, they have to properly defend themselves. However, this is not human civilization. Human life means voluntarily practicing suffering for the advancement of spiritual life. There is, of course, suffering in the lives of animals and plants, which are suffering due to their past misdeeds. However, human beings should voluntarily accept suffering in the form of austerities and penances in order to attain the divine life. After attaining the divine life, one can enjoy happiness eternally. After all, every living entity is trying to enjoy happiness, but as long as one is engaged in the material body, he has to suffer different kinds of miseries. A higher sense is present in the human form. We should act according to superior advice in order to attain eternal happiness and go back to Godhead. It is significant in this verse that the government and the natural guardian, the father, should educate subordinates and raise them to Krishna consciousness. Devoid of Krishna consciousness, every living being suffers in this cycle of birth and death perpetually. To relieve them from this bondage and enable them to become blissful and happy, Bhakti Yoga should be taught. A foolish civilization neglects to teach people how to rise to the platform of Bhakti Yoga. Without Krishna consciousness, a person is no better than a hog or dog. The instructions of Rishabdev are very essential at the present moment. People are being educated and trained to work very hard for sense gratification, and there is no sublime aim in life. A man travels to earn his livelihood, leaving home early in the morning, catching a local train and being packed in a compartment. He has to stand for an hour or two in order to reach his place of business. Then again he takes a bus to get to the office. At the office he works hard from 9 to 5. Then he takes 2 or 3 hours to return home. After eating, he has sex and goes to sleep. For all this hardship, his only happiness is a little sex. येन मैथुनादि ग्रहमेदि सुखम ही तुच्छम. Rishabdev clearly states that human life is not meant for this kind of existence, which is enjoyed even by dogs and hogs. Indeed, dogs and hogs do not have to work so hard for sex. A human being should try to live in a different way and should not try to imitate dogs and hogs. The alternative is mentioned. Human life is meant for tapasya, austerity and penance. By tapasya, one can get out of the material clutches. When one is situated in Krishna consciousness, devotional service, his happiness is guaranteed eternally. By taking to Bhakti Yoga, devotional service, one's existence is purified. The living entity is seeking happiness life after life, but he can make a solution to all his problems simply by practicing Bhakti Yoga. Then he immediately becomes eligible to return home back to Godhead, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 4.9. जन्म कर्म च मे दिव्यम एवं यो वेत्ति तत्वतः त्यक्त्वा देहम पुनर्जन्म नेति मामेति सो अर्जुन. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. Hare Krishna.
Oh, Rishabdev just shoots off, right? His teaching, he just shoots off. What does he say? Nayam deha bhajan mriloke. Let's look at this. Rishabha Uvacha, Lord Rishabhadev said, no, not. Ayam, this, deha, body, deha bhajan, of all living entities who have accepted material bodies. Nriloki, in this world. Actually, Nara, word of human. Kashtan, it's troublesome. Kaman, sense gratification. Arhate, vidbhujam, of stool eaters, ye, which. Tapaha, austerities and penances. Divyam, divine. Putraka, my dear sons. Yena, by which. Sattvam, the heart. Shuddhyat, becomes purified. Yasmat, from which. Brahma Sokyam, spiritual happiness. Too, certainly. Anantam, unending. So Lord Rishabdev told his sons, my dear boys, of all the living entities who have accepted material bodies in this world, one who has been awarded this human form should not work hard, day and night, simply for sense gratification. I mean, you can work hard, day and night, but not for sense gratification. You can work hard, day and night, for Krishna. Alright? But not for sense gratification. So, sense gratification which is available even for the dogs and hogs that eat stool. They like stool. Right? They think it's very good. Right? Otherwise, they won't eat it. But they find it very nice. That's their sense gratification. So, one should engage in penance and austerity to attain the divine position of devotional service. So, devotional service is divine. Whereas the dogs and hogs that eat stool, their happiness is eating stool. So, we are working hard and day and night only for sense gratification, which is available to the dogs and hogs. What are they doing? Eating, sleeping, mating and defending. And we work so hard only for these four things. And everybody knows those who work too hard, they can't even eat. Right? They can't even eat. They can't digest. They can't sleep. They take sleeping pills. Right? Mind is so much going on and on and on. What's happening in the business or at work. By such activities, so meaning that if we engage in penance and austerity, one's heart is purified. And when one attains this position, so what is it that's making somebody work so hard for sense gratification? The heart is full of desires. So therefore, this austerity and penances will make the heart. We are on Canto 5, chapter 5, text 1. Everybody's there? So by such activity, meaning tapasya, penance, one's heart is purified of kam, krodh, lobha, moha, matsarya, mad. And when one attains this position, so when the heart finally cools off, no more desires for sense enjoyment, then he can take the next plane to Vaikuntha. Right? Because we have a desire to enjoy in this world, therefore we stay here. But as soon as that motivation is no longer there, so that motivation is driven by calm, then further inflamed by anger, kam, krodh, lobh. Right? You can do the same. See here, remember Rishabdev, he was sitting in an assembly of Brahmanas, right? And they were hearing so many discourses. And his sons were there. So he started to speak for the benefit of all his citizens. He was speaking to his sons, but actually he was speaking for all the citizens. So, and specifically, who was he speaking to? Bharat, his son Bharat. He said that this boy Bharat, he will be your guide and your leader. And Bharat will give his name to who? Bharat? Yes, Bharatvarsh. Alright? So meaning those who have taken birth in Bharatvarsh, these are the people who endeavor for spiritual development, and therefore they practice austerity and penances. I think last week I mentioned that it's just so much in the genes. Right? Rath Yatra. Actually, there was once, there was some seminar going on. It was on communication, so they had invited, I forgot, all big newspapers. So they were teaching us, about communication in India. So they said that in India, what is the major interest of the people? Anybody can guess? What is the most major interest of the people? See, they are newspaper people, right? They're always publishing.
Become famous?
No, I'm speaking news. What news interests? Politics? Finance? Cricket? Bollywood? They said that what interests the Indian audience is actually spiritual news. They say that the newspaper is so full of horror, right? So full of horror. You read one page to the next is only what happened in the whole world. So full of horror that the people are looking for relief, right? They're looking for relief. Where will you find the relief? Alright, they want to have some bhakti geet. They want to see, Hanuman, picture of Hanuman. They want to see Chota Bheem. Right? Which festival is up? He said, but what's the problem? You know what's the problem? Nobody provides the information. Nobody provides. Because who has time to sit and write for newspapers? But this is the actual interest of those born in Bharat Varsh. And who said it? I didn't say it, okay? These are the newspaper people who have said it in the name of Indian news. Alright? So even now, this is the interest in India. Alright? So that's why you can see how we are distributing books. Bhagavatam, right? How we are so, channel after channel, everybody is on, ISKCON news, preaching, right? Why? If there's no audience, you won't do it. Right? So, by such activity once, where am I? I forgot. Purport? Purport? I have to start purport, okay. So Rishabdev tells his son about the importance of human life. So if you are a human being, this is what you are supposed to do. You are supposed to control the mind and senses. So remember that this chapter is not speaking of only Varnashram Dharma, where you balance things. Here, categorically, Rishabdev is saying throw out all sense enjoyment. Pious or impious, throw it out. The word Deha Bhak refers to anyone who accepts a material body. So, everybody has a material body. Human beings have material body or animals have material body. Frankly speaking, when I was a child, when I was at school, maybe I was, we call this below 10th standard, maybe 7, 8, 9th standard like this. I didn't know that human beings are animals. I didn't know. I had to read in biology book. Really? So we were learning about living organism and non-living organism. Then we were reading about animals. And then it is what? Human beings are also animals. So that's why everywhere in Bhagavatam, two-legged animals. Jantu. Janwar, right? Jantu. We read in 3rd canto. So here, King Rishabdev is saying, don't be animals. You have accepted Deha Bhak. What is the meaning of Deha Bhak? You have inherited a Deha. Right? You inherit. Right? Everybody wants to know what's my inheritance. Right? What have we inherited? A Deha. Animals have got it. Human beings also. So what do? Yeah, so they just eat. Animals like dogs and hogs, they eat stool. But if human beings, they undergo severe hardships all day and they do the same thing, then what's the use? So what is a human life meant for? What's human life meant for? Read. What is human life meant for? Yes.
Back to work.
Yeah, what Prabhupada is saying? What is that austerity? Prabhupada is explaining what is austerity. Voluntarily practicing suffering. Voluntarily practicing suffering for the advancement of spiritual life. Doesn't mean that you go and sit on a bed of nails. Does it mean that? No. What does it mean? Yeah, we just spoke about Ekadashi. Prabhupada said very simple. Observe Ekadashi. Instead of making Ekadashi pizza, keep it simple, right? Right? Keep your life simple. It's a day when you don't eat. You can live on milk, some fruits, right? If you require a little bit, salt, just little bit sabudana, summarize, that's it. Alright. Very simple. Voluntarily practicing suffering. And Prabhupada is saying that, why do animals suffer? Why do animals suffer? Because they are being punished by the laws of nature due to their past misdeeds. But here human beings can accept suffering voluntarily. Maybe we read earlier how somebody become poor, right? Meaning that actually a man who voluntarily eat less and a poor man who doesn't have food, right? He doesn't have food. So the laws of nature is making him fast and practice austerity despite himself. But here, when the wealthy person, alright, the wealthy person doesn't eat for a day or two, now period of fasting are going to come one after the other. Alright, all Hare Krishna devotees, please do observe fasting. Alright. So the temple provides Ekadashi Prasad, Gaur Purnima, Nrsimhadev, because these are like whole day, but they provide only for those who are weak. Don't make it a practice in your home that, it's okay not to fast. No, we must fast. Because I found out that the devotees don't fast.
पहले एकादशी प्रसाद बनता था, अभी तो रास बिहारी में एकादशी के दिन नॉर्मल प्रसाद बनता है.
Sorry?
पहले एकादशी के दिन एकादशी प्रसाद बनता था रास बिहारी में.
Yeah.
अभी नहीं बनता.
For who?
For devotees.
No, it's always Ekadashi.
No. अभी एकादशी के दिन नॉर्मल कुकिंग होता है.
No, of course not.
हाँ.
Of course not. I live here.
मैं किचन में जाती हूँ ना. एकादशी के दिन भगवान के लिए.
Oh, Radha Ras Bihari. Yeah, Radha Ras Bihari.
बिहारी के लिए.
No. Radha Ras Bihari, the deities, no. Yeah, there's no fasting for Radha Ras Bihari.
Before it was on एकादशी day.
No.
Because you get more knowledge, then you do that.
हाँ, ऐसे.
No.
It was on एकादशी day.
No. See,
एकादशी fast.
No. From day one, I'm saying for Radha Golokananda, installed more than 40 years ago. From day one was always grains for Ekadashi. And something there may be extra for Ekadashi also, but normal cooking. What I'm saying is that the devotees in their homes, they must fast. Because I found out that the devotees are not fasting. No Ekadashi. I'm speaking of Nrsimhadev Chaturdashi, Gaur Purnima. We must fast unless we are sick. Unless we are not able to observe the full day fast, at least half day fast. Till midday we should be able to fast. Then have some milk, have some banana. This is sufficient. Till night, you can break the fast. But whoever is in proper health, who's young, they must fast. This is voluntarily accepting suffering. And don't say, Mataji, we go to work. We are also working in the temple, right? During festivals, Janmashtami, how much we work. Alright? So don't say you are sitting and doing aram. No, we are hosting all of you in the temple. Right? Working day and night before, so many days before, right? So Prabhupada has made it such an institution that there is no aram. No relaxing. You have to work. Festival means you are on your toes. Right? All of you are participating,
Not only festival, entire marathon.
No. Because I'm just saying this because devotees told me, Maharaj, I have to go to work. I say, we are also working in the temple. Yes, so human life means voluntarily practicing suffering for the advancement of spiritual life. Yeah, so, oh God, twice Prabhupada is saying the same thing. That's why I thought, which line am I reading? So, human beings should voluntarily accept suffering in the form of austerities and penances in order to attain the divine life. Because this body is such a thing, is however much you put in it, it keeps on demanding. Right? You keep on giving it, it's never satisfied. The more you give it, the more it asks for it. So therefore, it has to be stopped by regulation. First thing, regulation. And second thing, sometimes just don't give at all. Just don't give at all. And the mind will become subdued. Like they say they tame the lion or tiger, right? They make it fast, right? So it becomes subdued. So even a ferocious animal can be tamed by subduing the tongue. So, meaning that if the body gives some rest to the soul, because remember, we're 10 to 5 now. Now we know where we are. The soul is in the body. And the soul is only sitting like a fool, watching the whole, whatever the body, remember the story? What happened with this King Puranjan? Complete fool. Now we know we are fools sitting in the body and letting our body do all types of stuff. So now Rishabdev is saying how to control that body so that it doesn't make a fool of you. The tongue speaks, say yes. The ears speak, yes. The eyes say yes. Right? All the 6 Vega, they say give and you give. So the soul sits as a complete fool. But when the body is now become as much controlled as possible, then the soul has some peace. Then the spiritual ears will open, the spiritual eyes will open, right? The spiritual tongue will open. Because the soul has all senses. After attaining the divine life, one can enjoy happiness eternally. So why you're looking for happiness in this body, right? Everybody knows how temporary this body is. After all, every living entity is trying to enjoy happiness. But as long as one is engaged in the material body, he has to suffer different kinds of misery. Now, in this human form, there is a higher sense. Please note this. A higher sense is present in the human form. Meaning animals, they only know how to eat, sleep, mate and defend. But in the human form, there is a higher sense. What is that higher sense? We should act according to superior advice in order to attain eternal happiness and go back to Godhead. So that's why we are preaching, that's why we are giving out the books. Because a human being has a higher sense. What is that higher sense? Can anybody tell me? What is that higher sense? Again, remember from our third canto, how the whole makeup, how it's built, it's a machine. The body is a complete machine and the soul is placed inside. What is that higher sense? How do you awaken that inner consciousness? What he said last is the answer. Why is he able to hear? There is a gift in this body which Prabhupada is referring to as a higher sense. There is a gift. Soul is spiritual. I'm speaking in this body. There is a higher sense. What is it? It's intelligence. It's a gift. Intelligence. You can appeal to the intelligence of a person. Right? But that intelligence will be developed when? Sorry? When you will control the eating, sleeping, mating and defending. If you are same as animal, your higher sense cannot be developed. Right? Your intelligence is completely blocked. So that's why first step is Vacho Vegam, Manasukroda Vegam, Jiva Vegam, Udara Upasta Vegam. Right? First step here, King Rishabdev is speaking about the first step. So please note this, it's just lost in so many words. A higher sense is present in the human form. Higher sense. What is that higher sense? Your ability to understand due to a God-given intelligence. And this is the voice of the super soul who is constantly giving the advice. Right? And here it is open super soul talking here. Externally. Through Guru, Acharya. It is significant in this verse that the government.
Yes. From there only we have to start.
Yeah, I'm looking where's the government in this verse. It is significant in this verse that the government and the natural guardian, the father, should educate subordinates and raise them to Krishna consciousness. Where's the government in this verse? Where did Prabhupada get government and father? Where did he get it? Prabhupada is writing here, it is significant in this verse that the government and the natural guardian, the father, should educate subordinates and raise them to Krishna consciousness. Where is it in this verse? Yeah, Rishabdev is his father. His father, and he's the natural guardian. And also, what's the government?
The Nagri. Brahman.
Yeah, he's a king.
He's a king. So he is the government.
It's amazing. It's amazing, right? How Prabhupada. So where's government? I'm looking in the verse, It's oh, Rishabdev, right? He's king. So Prabhupada is saying government. He's speaking in an assembly. And he's speaking to who? For whom to hear? All citizens. The father is instructing his sons and he's speaking specifically to who?
All the citizens. Bharat Maharaj.
Bharat, the eldest son. Alright? He is giving instruction to the eldest son because the younger son usually will follow the elder, right? The elder son, right? He is instructing one person, the eldest son, Bharat Maharaj, and he is making who here? The citizens. What a method, right? What a method. So he's speaking very openly. Now, he would just take a mic and go in the, among the citizens and speak all this. What may happen? What may happen? We read before some other story. What may happen?
Nobody would care.
Someone will listen, someone will not listen.
You remember the whole diplomacy, was it in Prithu Maharaj government? The whole diplomacy that was going on there? Right? They don't agree with him, but they will say yes, yes, yes. Right? So, he didn't go in there among the citizens. Alright? He's instructing his son, but he's instructing the eldest. Meaning somebody who is close to him, who's qualified. And Prabhupada is saying here, in this verse, it is significant in this verse that the government is the natural guardian. What is that, the natural guardian?
His father.
What is natural guardian?
Guides the citizen. It's quite natural for the parents.
What's the meaning of guardian?
It guides the citizen.
Yes. Right? The natural guardian. Just see, Prabhupada is using very specific words. Right? He didn't say the father is saying. No. He said the
Natural guardian.
natural guardian, meaning that father, if you have to be a father, you have to be a guardian. Right? You don't just give birth to the child.
Makes sense.
Right? Don't just give birth to the child. You are a guardian, meaning you have to guard his life so that he attains perfection. And the natural guardian is the father. And he should educate. So here, this is education. Right? They already went to school, I guess. All these boys, they went to Gurukul. But here, the father, who's the natural guardian, he is educating his subordinates. So if you are in a position of superior, later Rishabdev is going to say father, mother, deva, guru, right? Mother, superior, and you have a subordinate, the children, subordinate. Should educate. So remember that education is not only that I go to school. We spoke extensively of all this. So they go to school, they learn mind and sense control by following the ashram life. And then there is a varna, they get trained in their own varna after the age of, 11, 12 years old, then they start learning their varna. right? But here, the Father is educating. So don't just take the child and push the child in school and my work is done and I pay the fee. Right? I've done my work. You can stand on your feet, you can earn your life. No. Natural guardian meaning they educate the child so that he is to raise them to Krishna consciousness. Education at home. Devoid of Krishna consciousness, every living being suffers in this cycle of birth, death, and perpetually, It's like every generation you find more and more disease, right? You keep remembering, thinking that my grandfather, he lived for 90 years old and he was walking straight. My grandmother also walked straight. How when my mother, she cannot walk? Why she cannot walk? Right? So every generation the suffering is increasing. So maybe my mother, it happened to her when she was 60. Why is happening to me when I'm 45? Right? So the miseries are increasing. Every living entity, being, suffers in this cycle of birth and death perpetually. Meaning it's not, you say, okay, finish it off, just finish it off. Okay, we know we have to go through all this, we have to die, we have to do all this. And then we have a big philosophy, right, that we don't die, right? We have a very big philosophy. What does that mean? When you're going to take birth again, it's okay. Again have new body and again, same chakra, right? So one cycle of life is over, then the next will start. And then, okay, it's fine. You know how you can just give in to this and you don't make a solution to the problem because too lazy? Right? It's okay, next life we'll try. And anyway, it's fine. Let me relax now. To relieve them from this bondage and enable them to become blissful and happy, Bhakti Yoga should be taught. So in this chapter, Bhakti Yoga will be discussed. Without Krishna consciousness, a person is no better than a hog or dog. Nayam deha bhajandri loke kashtan kamam arhate vidbhujamye tapo dibyam putrakayena satvam shuddhyat yasman brahma sokyam tvanantam. Because we are looking for brahma sokyam. Everybody wants to be happy. Whatever you are doing, let me be happy. So here, Lord Rishabdev, he is teaching us how we can actually achieve happiness. Without Krishna consciousness, a person is no better than a dog or hog. The instructions of Rishabdev are very essential at the present moment. People are being educated and trained to work very hard for sense gratification. And there is no sublime aim in life. A man travels to earn his livelihood. So we know what happens in Bombay, right? Prabhupada must have observed, his writing what's going on in Bombay. But now maybe he didn't know it. I don't know. Maybe he knew it. People fly, right? They don't take trains these days. There's traffic, air jam now, right? There's no parking space in the air, right? Oh God, yeah. So we know the whole story. How they do, work so hard only for eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. So the alternative is mentioned here, human life. If you're a human being, meaning that you have an awakened intelligence. It's a door to liberation, intelligence. Of course, we are not speaking of just the intelligence of how to eat, right? How to make money. You use your intelligence just to make money. This is a higher sense, this intelligence that we are talking about. It is only, this is the point of liberation for the soul, intelligence. So using our intelligence, practice tapasya and penance. By tapasya, one can get out of the material clutches. When one is situated in Krishna consciousness devotional service, his happiness is guaranteed eternally. So, what is this bhakti yoga? Janma karma chame divyam evam yo veti tadvatah tyakva deham puna janma naiti mam eti. So Arjuna, meaning know about Krishna. What is this bhakti yoga? It is develop our relationship with Krishna. Very simple, very, very simple. Which is going to be explained very explicitly in this chapter, which we are already doing, like how much we enjoy this Rath Yatra. I don't know who came for Rath Yatra. Anybody came? You came? Right? Yeah. How was it? It was horrible actually. Oh my God.
Very fast.
June, and there was not a single cloud, right? It was so hot. I was looking at everybody. I thought next Rath Yatra nobody will attend. And I thought, no, these are Indians. They've been 100% they will attend. However much they are suffering.
We went to Mira Road. There also our legs were burning. It's too much hot. So crowded. Not getting a rope to hold.
Yeah.
This time it was not that crowded. I used to be earlier and there were 3 Raths going here. Now it's a single one.
First it was 3 Raths, now it's only 1 Rath.
Anyway, it was sufficiently crowded. Yeah, so it's amazing, like the experience. It's like so hot. And I was looking at, the devotees were sitting on the rod, they become red, completely red, And how much will one cup help you? And then suddenly it's like you feel that shiver of coldness. It's like we're walking, and then suddenly, it's like, I really don't know what it is. And we turn and we just see Jagannath, right? My God, it's like worth it. Just to see Jagannath and that huge Rath up there. So beautiful, so beautiful. You just want to see him. Yeah, and people were just walking. And then, anyway, after maybe almost 3 hours, I said, okay, now enough. It was only 4 o'clock, so I said, I just crossed the road. There was like a junction. So I crossed the road. I wanted to catch a rickshaw to come back. So I'm sitting in the rickshaw, and I saw one devotee with a child. I said, you want to come? I'm coming to the temple. You know what the devotee told me? A toddler. Mataji, this boy will not come. A toddler. Huh? Bharatvarsh, yes. Yeah, he will not come. He wants to walk in that heat. Right.
One child got lost in the Rath Yatra, then they found it.
They announced Piyush. His name was Piyush. So, janma karma chame divyam evam yevo veti tadvatah tyaktva deham puna janma naiti mam eti swarjuna. Meaning that when you develop that relationship with Krishna, when you enjoy in that relationship with Krishna, whatever it may be, when you just get one flower from the altar, you get one fruit. Every day you're eating fruits, right? But the day Radha Ras Bihari give you one fruit. Oh my God, what he's given, right? Special gift, right?
Last Sunday I did seva fruit cutting and then cooking, and Prabhuji was not giving me any prasad. I said, oh, give me some little bit will do, but give me something. I have to say, I want prasad. I asked. So he gave me little cake. He said, nothing is there. I said, no, give me something.
Alright, so we stop here. So that was quite intense, huh? Tapasya. Tapasya.
Higher intelligence.
Yes, and that's what we are putting in all these kids. But I'm just saying that toddler, the father told me, no, he will not come. I'm going back, sitting in a rickshaw going back to the temple. No, this boy, he will walk. He's enjoying, right? His father will carry him, then he'll put him down. It's so hot. But he's not feeling it. Actually, the children, they get used to the climate. You put them in a climate, they get used to it. Alright, thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Panchakalpatarubhascha kripa sindhuvya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna.